One thing is for certain, you can't control everything in life, like how loud the person beside you chews their gum, or how much traffic there is, especially when you're running late. But in this video, I'm going to talk to you about 5 things you absolutely do have control over. And just if you exercise that control, you'll dramatically see positive results in your life. Let's get it. If you're new to the channel, my name is Kevin, and I put out weekly videos to help people just like you see things from a different perspective. If you enjoy this video, please be sure to let me know by giving it a like, subscribing, and of course, turn on those bell notifications so you don't miss another one from this point forward. It really does help the channel and helps me make sure that I get this message out to everybody else. Now that we got that out of the way, let's get right to the video. Let's start off with your words. You've heard me talk about how powerful our words are. They can build people up and they can certainly tear people down. And this really isn't any different when it comes to speaking to ourselves. With our words, we choose to speak truth, lies, gossip, words of encouragement, hate, you name it. Having self-control over your words, even in times of anger, is a personal responsibility. Some people think that letting your words fly without a filter is really keeping it real, but a wild tongue is bound to get you in trouble one day. Growing up, I remember seeing somebody get their dental work, all their chiclets, their molars rearranged because they spoke foul to the wrong person. Our words impact people in so many different ways. So I wouldn't expect you to tiptoe around every little thing you say, but taking the time to think about what you're saying, especially in heated situations, is all too important. But it's not just how we speak to others, it's really how we speak to ourselves. I firmly believe that we need to be our own primary cheerleader, and if we can't speak positively to ourselves, why should we expect anyone else to? Speaking positive affirmations over yourself every day might seem like a silly idea, but the reality is, the more you speak positively about yourself, the less negative talk you'll accept from others. Negative self-talk will limit your ability to believe in yourself, your abilities, and ultimately reach your greatest potential. Did you know that negative self-talk has been linked as a contributing factor to stresses on the body and feelings of depression? I've provided a link in the description below to an article that I think you might think is a good one because it explains the toxic effects of negative self-talk. So the next time you get into a heated debate or a heated argument with someone, heated situation, do your best to just take a breath, calm down, relax before you utter another word. Next, you really do have control over being present. Now, being present is more than physically being in a location. It requires you more to be involved in that same environment. In this social media, technology-heavy world, one of, if not the biggest distractions is our mobile devices. We can make all the excuses we want, but at the end of the day, many times these devices are robbing us of being present with our families, our friends, and our loved ones. Now, I know that we have to accept that technology is here, devices are a part of our common everyday reality, so I'm not saying that we shouldn't have these devices, but I recently learned about a term called unconscious usage. Simply put, this is when we turn to our devices without a true need and without a real purpose. Now, how many times have you been at a function, whether it be a family gathering, a birthday party, or simply laying around in bed with your significant other, and people have their head in their phones just merely scrolling away? Somehow our brains have been programmed to reach for our devices in moments when we need to search for stimulus. How many likes do I have? Whose message can I respond to? What posts have been made? But why search for stimulus when we're physically with someone that should be our stimulus? It's because it gives us an escape from the present moment, and usually because some moments give unpleasant feelings. Feelings like boredom, nervousness, uncertainty, jealousy, and for some, even silence. Now, here's the thing. When we're in the presence of other people, I really feel like we need to get back to the times when there were no apps. Our kids want and need our attention. Our aging parents need our attention. Oftentimes, we're giving more attention to people we barely even know and aren't actually adding any value to our lives. You see, time that we spend absent from the present is something we're never going to get back. And I would hate to regret not spending more quality time with someone when they're no longer around. The next thing you definitely have control over is where you put your energy. Some of you are putting a lot of energy into maintaining relationships that are more toxic than cyanide. Sometimes you expend your energy taking on things that don't belong to you, like other people's problems. Too many times, like way too many times, people are freely giving their energy to negative situations and thoughts. We may feel like we're spending a lot of time doing a lot of things, but we're not really accomplishing much. When this starts to happen, we need to really examine where we're putting our energy and where we're spending all of our time. Because things that you put your energy into is what you'll be paid with in life. You know, if you continually put your energy into blaming other people for your misfortunes, you won't have the energy to create that same fortune. Spending hours on end jumping from one social media platform to the next, you're not going to accomplish any of those goals that you have. And when you invest your time and energy into things that return positive energy, you feel much more alive and engaged with life. Those closest to me know how much energy I get just from hanging out and doing things with my son or going on boat cruise parties with my wife. Being hyper aware of where you're focusing your energy will help you really accomplish more, because you'll stop wasting time on things that drain that same energy from you that you need to put into accomplishing other things. All right, let's talk quickly about your mindset. I know we all have baggage of some sort. We've all been through some things in life that has left us scarred, battered, and bruised. And for many, it is really difficult to think positively about a lot of things. You have no control over what happened in the past. What's done is done. You don't really have control over other people's behaviors, the outcomes of certain situations, or what may even happen in the future. But you do always have and maintain control over how you respond. And how you respond is primarily based on your mindset. But choosing to have a positive mindset really is that. It's a choice. You can choose to have a victim mentality and act like the world owes you something. You can even make a conscious decision to take responsibility of how you'll rebound from negative situations. Your feelings of failure and inadequacy can be overcome with a positive mindset. Growth of all kinds come from having a good mindset. Your mind is the birthplace of your dreams, your visions, and your aspirations. So your mindset needs to be on point if you're going to see any of those things come to pass. Now, in order to reset your mind for success, you need to accept that your mind needs shifting. I just talked about our words. Getting rid of negative self-talk has to be the starting point. Change your language. Phrases like, I've always failed at this, or I can never get that right. You got to change that and surround yourself with people that match your desired mindset. Because if you keep doing what you've always done, you'll keep getting what you've always got. And of course, you're always in full control of your efforts. Cut and dry, you're only going to get out what you put in. The end. Seriously, when you go to work, if you spend more time yapping and complaining all day, don't expect to get that promotion. If you're too lazy to hit the gym, then stop sulking about your gut. And if you keep putting your partner on the back burner, I wouldn't be surprised if one day they leave. You want to know why your business really isn't getting off the ground the way you hoped it would? Maybe it's because you're spending more time scrolling through Instagram looking at fights than you're spending on competitor market research. See, effort is the best indicator of interest. If you are really interested in getting the results out of life that you profess, you'll make the effort. Effort needs to be made every single day, whether you feel like it or not. See, championships aren't won because a team simply played the best during the game. They won because individuals got up and practiced even when they didn't feel like it. Because players and coaches watched hours of game tape just to study the competition and develop new strategies. Because people sacrificed selfish wants for a bigger purpose. Before the success, there were countless hours, days, and times, amounts of effort being made consistently. Now it's time for you to let me know in the comments which one of these resonated with you the most, or which one you think that I forgot and should have put on this list. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button like I said and subscribe. And check out more of my videos. You never know exactly what hidden gems you'll find. Until next time, peace and love.